What's up, my little maniacs? It's Terrible Tim here at Planet Comicon 2017, and I am here with the King, Jerry Lawler from WWE. King, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing awesome, Terrible Ted. How are you?
I'm doing good, man.
Good.
Now, I was talking to you a little bit yesterday about you.
You look terrible. Are you sure you're doing good?
I don't know. Let me check my pulse. Yeah, I better get to the doctor, actually. Now, yesterday, you and I were talking a little bit at the con, and you told me you grew up watching Ghoulardi, a famous horror host out of Ohio.
Absolutely. That was when, that's how I became a fan of horror hosts. And now, since the time, I mean, I go all over the country and I seek them out. You know, I try to find what's the best local horror host. And I hear that you're in the running and trying to get to the top of the heap, right?
I'm trying, my friend. I want to take on the WWE and get that prime time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, I was just a kid in Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio. I can't remember the call letters of the station, but all of a sudden they got this package of monster movies and horror movies, and they needed a host. They needed somebody to come on and introduce these movies. So they came up with this guy. His name was Ernie Anderson. And Ernie Anderson, they put now this was in the 60s. So they gave him this like a phony beatnik beard and mustache, and the only really sort of scary effect that they did with this guy was he started out his show, and the background was completely dark. There was no light, and it was the old deal where you shine a flashlight up from the bottom of your face, right? Well, that's the way they lit Ghoulardi for the first year of his hosting of the monster show. But this guy, I mean, he was so funny. He was so witty, and he really pushed the envelope back in the 60s. That didn't take much, but he did all of these crazy things that kids would just fall in love with. I mean, this was a time kids would, instead of going out and cruising around and getting into trouble, they would be at home at night building plastic model kits of cars and things like that. And Ghoulardi, one day he said, "Hey, I know a lot of you kids out there like to build these model kits. If you got a great model, I want you to send it into the show, and we'll show it right here on television." So all the kids are out there going, "Oh my gosh!" They started building these plastic models, and they would send them into Ghoulardi. And so the first week, he said, "Look at this!" Like for instance, he said, "Look at this little Jerry Lawler out in Amherst, Ohio. Look at this nice Mustang that he's done. This is beautiful, Jerry. You did a great job. I'm going to show you how much I like this." And you take an M80 firecracker and stick it in your car and light it and blow it to smithereens, And you're sitting at home like, "He just blew up my model." And of course, everybody else is like laughing their butts off. And so he just did all sorts of things like that was really off the charts, and he became a big fan favorite. He went. They had him do an appearance at a shopping center. Drew 10,000 people.
My goodness!
To come to see Ghoulardi. Oh,
that's crazy.
Tim, I think you could. Terrible. I think you could.
I hope so. Someday I will. I had 5 fans today. That's pretty good.
That's not bad. That's a start.
Now, you're also friends with Svengoolie.
Svengoolie, yes, I am. He's one of my favorites now. He's had me on his show like you are doing. This is a step in the right direction, I'll tell you.
Right.
He's had me on the show a bunch of times. He's good. He's entrenched in Chicago, but now with being on that MeTV, he's seen all over the country.
Oh my goodness!
He was. Did he start out as son of Svengoolie? There was an original Svengoolie.
Yeah, the original hippie, he was like all peace and like hippie looking. The original Svengoolie. And
now this Svengoolie comes out of a coffin, and they throw rubber chickens at him and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's still the same genre of the kind of humorous monster host.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. I'm glad you're such a fan of it.
Oh, I love it.
And now tell me about this. Okay, now you played in a movie called Man in the Moon. Of course, it was about your relationship with Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman.
And now Jim Carrey did not realize.
Do we have to talk about Andy Kaufman? I'm sick of talking about Andy Kaufman. Go ahead. What? Carrey, what?
Jim Carrey obviously didn't realize that you and Andy Kaufman were actually friends. And he kind of was rude to you on set a little bit.
Yeah, he was. As a matter of fact, their very first day I walked on the set, I had no idea what to expect, and I'm in Hollywood. I'm in the Universal Movie Studios. I'm looking around at all this stuff, and all of a sudden, bam! Crashing right in front of me, somebody threw this big glass bottle of orange juice, or actually some kind of Gatorade or something. It bust all over me, splashed all over, the glass flying everywhere. And I thought, what the heck just happened? I look over, and there's Jim Carrey, dressed as Andy Kaufman, peeking out a door. He said, "I'll get you, Lawler. I hate you, Lawler, from Memphis, Tennessee." And I'm thinking, is this guy for real? So anyway, one thing led to another. And like you said, Jim Carrey was so into being this method actor where he was like, he thought he was channeling Andy Kaufman as he played the character. Everybody had to refer to him as Andy. You could never, he showed up every day already in makeup, already as Andy Kaufman. You could never call him Jim or refer to him as Jim Carrey. Even the director, I mean, you know, the director was Milos Forman, who directed One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Amadeus. He even had to refer to Jim Carrey as Andy.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and so he just took it a little too far, did a bunch of practical jokes and pranks and got on the wrong side of me. So that finally, I guess what he had forgotten was the last scene that we shot of the movie was where I slapped him on the David Letterman show.
And you really laid into him.
I slapped him twice as hard as I slapped the real Andy. Yes, I did.
That's pretty awesome, my friend. I like that. Now, let me ask you about this. Girls Gone Dead. What is that all about?
Well, that's, you know, you like horror movies,
yes,
right?
Yes, I love them,
okay.
Of course.
It's a movie that I did a few years ago. I had a little part where I played Sheriff, I think Sheriff Cole, which I didn't even realize at the time was the same as Michael Cole, who I did broadcasting with for so long. But anyway, I played the sheriff in Daytona Beach, Florida, and it was, everybody's seen Girls Gone Wild videos, right? Well, the story of this movie was a bunch of girls from a little small town got the idea to go down on spring break, to go down to like Daytona Beach and get in one of these Girls Gone Wild movies. And so one of their mothers got wind of what they were going to do, and she was sort of a kind of a religious fanatic, and she almost passed out, and she begged her daughter not to go, and she, you know, just told her something bad will happen down there. You can't do this. It's a sin and it's an abomination. Anyway, her daughter snuck out and went anyway. So sure enough, bad things started happening. Once they got down there on the set and they started doing these Girl Gone Wild videos,
and you know,
girls started dying. I mean, they got chopped up. Somebody was killing them with this big axe or whatever. And turns out at the end of the movie, well, maybe I should I not? I probably shouldn't. Maybe you're going to show this movie.
Yeah, you never know. We might show it.
Yeah, but anyway, at the end of the movie, it turns out that the killer is this girl's mother. And so it's almost like the movie Carrie. And this is also the first movie where I, as the sheriff, wound up getting to kill the villain with a pile driver.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Not often does that happen.
Which you did to Andy Kaufman.
Yes, I did.
You pile drived him, and he was in the hospital for days.
Yes, and then died later.
And then died. That's right. Well, that was actually going to lead into my next question. I was going to ask you, is Andy Kaufman still alive?
Let me ask you this, Terrible. Would you like to see Andy Kaufman right now?
Sure.
You would really like to see Andy Kaufman right now?
I would love to see Andy Kaufman right now.
You got a flashlight and a couple shovels? Get it?
This is a serious question, King.
Yeah, but seriously, I told you not even to talk about Andy Kaufman before we did this interview.
What's the matter with asking about one of the greatest things in your career? Andy Kaufman, and you did one of the greatest things ever. And here, I was just asking you a nice question. You're going to get mad about it? I mean, what are you going to do? You going to wrestle me Memphis style, King? What? I'm here.
Are you kidding me now? I mean, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Look, I agree to come on this show for you, and now you're going to pull a stunt like this?
Yeah, let's do it. Me and you.
Do what? What do you want to do?
I want to go with the king. What do you think?
Seriously?
I want to wrestle you Memphis style.
Guys, come on. Be professional here.
You asked me
come
to
on.
come on your stupid show, and then you're going to pull a stunt like this?
You know what? Forget this.
No, you're an idiot.
Yeah, forget.